Hello, everybody. So, we have been practicing measuring objects, right? Today, you're going to measure some objects in your house, and you're going to record how long or how tall they are, okay? So, when we talk about the size of an object, we usually use words like length and height and width. Okay, we're only going to worry about length, which is how long an object is, and height, which is how tall an object is. Okay, so if I'm looking at my Cheez-It box and I'm wondering how tall it is, I would measure from the bottom to the top. Okay, just like if a doctor is measuring your height, right? Maybe you're 3 feet tall. That's how they would measure. They would measure you from your feet to your head, okay? To see how tall you were. Now, if I wanted to measure length, I would measure how long an object is, okay? So I would measure from one end to the other, okay? Length goes side to side, height goes up and down, all right? So when you measure your objects today, you can measure either one. You can measure height or you can measure length, all right? But for both of your objects, you're going to use the same thing. You're going to either use height for both or length for both. So you get to pick, all right? So what I need you to do is get out your ruler. You each should have a ruler in your plastic baggie that was in your bin that your adult picked up for you at the school, okay? So if you need some time to get that out, you can pause the video and go get your ruler, okay? Once you have your ruler, you will see how many numbers on your ruler. You see 12 numbers, okay? I want you to take your finger and I want you to put it on the number 1, all right? We're going to count together all the way from 1 to 12, and I want you to touch each number as you say it, all right? Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Very good. Now, what does each number mean? Who remembers? Each number counts as 1 inch, okay? So if you take your finger and you put it on the 4, that means 4 inches. If you take your finger and you put it on the 7, that means 7 inches. If you take your finger and you put it at the 1, that means 1 inch. Now, who remembers when something is 12 inches, or it's the entire length of your ruler, what do we call that? 12 inches equals 1 foot, okay? And remember, we have symbols for inches and for feet. All right? "12 inches." So remember that our inches symbol is 2 itty-bitty lines that are at the top of the number, right next to the number, okay? 12 inches is equal to 1 foot, okay? So 12 inches and 1 foot are equal to each other, okay? They're just different ways of saying the same thing. All right? So if my Cheez-It box, if I measured my Cheez-It box, we're going to use Baby Echo as a ruler because I don't have one right now. So if Baby Echo is my ruler, and if Baby Echo was the exact same size as my Cheez-It box, then I could say my Cheez-It box is 12 inches tall, or I could say it is 1 foot tall. We're saying the same thing, okay? Today, I want you to go around your house only where your adults say it's okay to go. And I want you to find 2 objects. But you need to make sure that both of your objects are either equal to 1 foot or less than 1 foot, okay? In other words, your objects should not be bigger than your ruler. They should not be longer than your ruler, okay? They should be either equal to or shorter, okay? All right. Once you have your 2 objects, you're going to draw a picture of them in either your math workbook or your science workbook. So if you don't have one of those in front of you, you can pause the video and go get one. You can do this activity in either workbook. It does not matter if it's your math one or your science one, okay? Once you have your workbook and you're turned to a blank page and you have a pencil, okay, you're going to draw a picture of your 2 objects that you chose. I'm going to use my Cheez-It box and one of our sight word cards, okay? So, I'm going to just draw my Cheez-It box here. Cheez-It. And draw a little Cheez-It here. And a little Cheez-It here. And a little Cheez-It here. Okay, there's my Cheez-It box. Yes, Caleb, I am insulting Cheez-Its. I'm sorry. Okay. And then I'm going to draw my sight word card. Okay? After I draw them, I'm going to measure them. Okay? So, since I don't have a ruler, I can't measure them exactly. But I'm going to measure how tall my Cheez-It box is. All right? So, I use my ruler, which we're pretending is Baby Echo. And I'm starting from the bottom of the Cheez-It box. All right? If I go all the way up to the top of the Cheez-It box, I'm going to check which number is closest to the top. Okay? Let's say that number is 10. So, my Cheez-It box is 10 inches. I'm going to write 10 and the symbol for inches, which means 10 inches. Okay? Now I'm going to measure my card. We'll say my card was 4 inches. Okay? 4 inches. Okay? So, the next thing I want you to do is circle the number that is greater. Okay? By circling the number that is greater, you are also telling us which object is taller or longer. Okay? So, which one of my numbers is greater? It's 10. Okay? Remember, the bigger number, or the number that is more, is also the number that is greater. Okay? 10 is greater than 4, so I'm going to circle the number 10. All right? Now, here's the part that we haven't done yet. So, I'm now going to put my 2 measurements together. Okay? So I'm going to find out how tall my Cheez-It box is and my sight word card is if we put them together. Okay? So, how do we do that? Do you think we would add or do you think we would subtract? We would add because we are putting things together. Okay? So, who remembers what symbol we use for an addition sentence? That's right, we use a plus sign. So, this is getting tricky. Okay. You know what? There we go. That's better. Okay. And still a glare. Okay. When I make an addition sentence, I like to put my greater number first. Okay? So I'm going to start with 10. 10. And then remember, it's an addition sentence, so we use our plus sign. Plus sign looks like a T. Plus 4. What symbol comes next? Equal sign. 2 straight lines. All right, now 10 plus 4. How in the world am I going to figure that out? Well, I could use counters, and I could have 10 counters and then add 4 to the 10 counters, and I could count the total, or I could use my fingers. Now, you might be wondering, how am I going to count to a number that is greater than 10 when I only have 10 fingers? Okay, how in the world am I going to do that? Well, you can do it. Okay, you just have to use a little brain power. All right, so in order to do that, you're going to take the number 10 and you're going to stick it into your, that was kind of weird. You're going to stick it into your head. Okay, you're going to keep the number 10 in your head. Okay, number 10 is in my head. All right, so once the number 10 is stuck inside my head, I'm going to put up a hand with no fingers. Okay, so I know that I am starting at the number 10. It is in my head. Now I am adding 4 to 10. Okay, so I'm going to count up from 10 4 times with my fingers. Okay, so once I get to 4 fingers, I'm going to stop. All right, okay, so we're starting at 10. Ready? 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, so what is 10 plus 4? It is 14. Ten plus 4 equals 14. Look at that. All right, so if you would like to stop there, you may. If you would like a challenge, I'm going to do a challenge next. Okay, so if you want to stop, maybe you want to go measure more objects and record them in your workbook, that's fine. Or if you want to stick around and do the challenge, that's wonderful. Okay, the challenge is I'm going to use my addition sentence to make subtraction sentences. Okay, so what we did, we added 2 objects, right? We added how tall 2 objects were together, right? The Cheez-It box was 10 inches. The Sightwork card was 4 inches. And we put them together. We added their number of inches. And we found out that together they were 14 inches. Now, if I'm going to subtract, I want to start with the greatest number. I want to start with the total number. The number that was the total of my Cheez-It box plus my Sightwork card. We said that that number was 14, right? Together they are 14 inches tall. So if I want to subtract, I start with 14, and then I want to use my minus sign, because remember minus is the symbol for subtraction. So we'll erase this. 14 minus. Now, I can choose either one of my numbers. Do I want to subtract or take away my Cheez-It box, which was 10 inches, or my sight word card that was 4 inches? I don't know. I'll subtract my Cheez-It box, okay? So we are taking away from the total one of our objects. We're going to take away our Cheez-It box. So 14 minus 10. Now, what do you think it equals? It equals the other number that we haven't used yet in our first number sentence. It equals 4. Okay? So we used the same 3 numbers in our addition sentence and our subtraction sentence. Okay? So I would like you to do that with your objects and your numbers in your workbook. All right? Just to go over it again. So we had the Cheez-It box and the sight word card were 14 inches tall when we put them together. Okay? We took away the Cheez-It box. We said 10 minus, or I'm sorry, we said 14 minus 10 equals 4, okay? And 4 is the number of inches that my sight word card was, okay? We could also say 14 minus 4 equals 10, okay? And if we did that, we would be saying 14, which is the number of inches that both of them were together, minus 4, which is the number of inches of my sight word card, equals 10, which is the number of inches tall that my Cheez-It box was. Okay? So we used 3 numbers. We used 10, 4, and 14. And we put them both into 3 different number sentences. 1 addition number sentence and 2 subtraction number sentences. So all of those numbers are related. So your numbers are going to be different than 10, 4, and 14 probably. But your numbers are going to be related just like mine were related. You can make an addition number sentence and 2 subtraction number sentences as well. Okay? If you have any questions about this, you can message me or you can video chat me. I will be looking forward to hearing from you. This was a lot of fun. Thanks for listening and good work. I will see you soon.